All right, guys, we're gonna get this call started, guys. You know it's a serious call when Sorensen has the whiteboard in the background. You know this is about to get serious. Yes, sir. Well, listen, guys, it's Saturday. You could be doing anything in the world, but you're on this call today because you want to take your life, you want to take your business to the next level, and I can appreciate that. And so that's why I'm on this call as well. And hopefully you guys get some value out of this. So make sure to have your notepads, your pens. You're ready to take some notes because this is going to be true nuts and bolts value. And that's what this is. This is the Super Saturday nuts and bolts call. Okay. So the nuts and bolts series that we're doing. And there's a couple gentlemen I want to bring on here to share this information with you. But guys, listen, if you don't know who I am, I'm Joey Wilson. I'm a Chairman 100 with the company. I've been in this thing for now over 4 years, and it's been a huge blessing in my life, my wife, my family, my friends, anybody that's partnered with me. If you lock arms with us and you stay the course, I promise you, your life will change too. So, I say it on the call every single night: burning desire, work ethic, be teachable and coachable, and then never, ever quit. And if you stay focused, I'm telling you, if I can do this, you guys can do it too. If CJ can have a six-figure day trading, you guys can have a six-figure day of trading too. Nothing is impossible here. Your wildest dreams can come true and will come true if you just stay the course long enough to be able to win, because when God's timing meets your preparation, that's when the magic moment will happen. And so, guys, I'm excited. I'm fired up, and I'm blessed to be here. And, let's get this call popping off. So you're going to hear from two individuals today, like I told you. The first person, he's a really good buddy of mine. You all know him. You all love him. He's one of the best network marketers in the world, for real. He's one of the hardest working, best network marketers in the world. And on top of that, just on top of being an amazing network marketer, he's an amazing father. He's an amazing friend. He's an amazing fiance. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, the people in his circle are taking their life to the next level. I mean, just being around him, he's like a walking, talking personal development book, right? I mean, the dude's constantly reading, the dude's constantly listening to audios, learning and growing because he just wants to become the best version of himself. And, I look at it like this. He's like the Alex Morton or the Jalen Goss or the David Amenitia, but before he pops off or before they popped off. Okay. So if you get a chance to work with him, take it serious, for real. Take it serious because he's about to take off as a platinum 5,000 in his mid 20s, making over $5,000 a month, pure residual. Haven't had to work a job in the last couple years, was able to walk away from that to do this full time. If you get the chance to work with him, do it, because you're going to be watching him walk stage here in the next 12, 24 months as a Chairman 50, Chairman 100 with the company. So that's the first person you're going to hear from. The next person is another good friend of mine, Tyler Sorensen. A lot of you guys know him. He's one of the foundational pillars of this entire organization, right? In his mid 20s, a Chairman 10, which is $10,000 a month minimum, doesn't work a job, does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. He's one of the most down-to-earth, genuine people I've ever met in my life, with a heart of gold. He's an amazing leader. And a lot of the systems that we have here with Team Ambition, a lot of it has been created with him and his organization. I mean, the dude is constantly looking for ways to make sure you all can have the most success possible. And when you get started, you can have the fastest start possible. And, systems stand for save yourself time, energy, and money. Well, companies that go from nothing to $1 billion, it happens because of systems. And he has really played a pivotal role in creating systems here that we've used and helped me get to Chairman 100 and helped us pop 10 brand new Chairman 10s within a week period. And then other people, other leaders like Justin Owens and many others have asked us, what are you guys doing? Well, it's nothing that I made up on my own. These are amazing leaders like AJ and Tyler that have came up with a lot of this information and a lot of this stuff that we do here. And so you're going to be able to hear from the best of the best. And I'm just blessed to be on this call to listen in and hear from them as well. Because listen, I could explain this stuff that you're hearing from them. I could explain it, right? but I don't think I could explain it as good as them and as detailed as they do. I mean, they do a very, very good job. So again, give it up for those guys. Type 333 in the chat. Type fire, fire, fire in the chat if you're ready to take your life and your business to the next level. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my brother AJ, and he's going to kick this call off. Let's get it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. I'm also going to add Tyler's spotlight here because me and him are going to rock out this call together. I really appreciate the kind words, Joey. And if you guys, this call is about edification and closing. If you guys didn't notice, Joey just did a perfect job of edifying me and Tyler, right? So hopefully you were taking notes on how Joey just talked about me and Tyler, because that was a perfect example of edification right there. Right now, all of you guys are excited and dialed in to hear this call because he did a good job of edifying us. And so I'm just really excited because this call is going to be very, very important to everybody's business. If you can not only absorb the information that we're going to talk about on this call today, but you can, secondly, apply it to your own business. And then third, teach it to every single person that joins your organization, you can absolutely crush it in this industry. Because if you can learn how to edify, you will build an organization that is not dependent on you, right? Type some threes in the chat if you would like to have an organization that isn't dependent on yourself. It grows without you. That's what edification can do. You start to leverage leaders, and your team starts to leverage leaders, and your business starts to grow without you. That's the power of edification. And obviously closing, I don't have to talk about closing much. If you're able to close, you get more people in the system, right? Simple as that, right? Some people, when you're ending the exposure with your prospect, you're not necessarily saying the right things to your prospect. No, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? The right people are just going to come in your business as they should, but there are prospects that are not joining the organization because we're not saying things that we could be saying that kind of, maybe nudge them towards actually getting started versus leaving them on the fence. Okay. And so that's really what this call is about. I'm going to, get out of the way here, and I'm going to let Tyler talk about edification, because I truly believe that Tyler's probably one of the best in the game in, when it comes to edifying, right? It was something that I learned very hardcore in my previous company. And I know the same thing with him. He learned it a lot in his previous company, and it was just drilled into our brains. And so it's something that we've both gotten very good at. But I admire Tyler a lot for the way he edifies people. So he's going to take over the call here for a little bit, talk about edification. I'll probably come on, give my 2 cents, and then maybe we'll do a little Q&A about edifying, and then I'll get into closing. So that being said, Tyler, I'll let you take it over, boss.
Man, I appreciate it. You guys just got a couple amazing examples of what good and great edification sounds like. And they don't even make me pay them for saying all that nice stuff, which is, I think, the best part. So, well, guys, welcome to the call. I'm glad you guys are all here on a Saturday. And this is just to go over, obviously, the nuts and bolts, right? We call this call the nuts and bolts call, and going over just some skills that, once you have these things dialed in, these are things that will obviously help you, really take your business to the next level. I know that's something that you guys probably hear a lot, like, well, if I learn this, I'll get to the next level. If I learn this, I'll get to the next level. And, one of the things that you guys hear Joey talk about all the time is wealth building is a team sport. And I really think that's probably the biggest thing. Sometimes learning what to do is just as important as learning what not to do. And I think one of the things, if I were to have a list of things not to do, working by yourself is one of those things that you would put at the top of the list. Right? You do not want to build this business by yourself, guys. When I got started in this industry almost 6 years ago, I was not ever by myself. I was literally, and some of these guys are on the call. I could shout out Colton Winkleman's on the call. Coach CJ's on the call. I don't know if, Sam, Mikey, they may be on the call as well, but you can ask them guys. I was on Zoom with these guys all the time. I was on the phone with them all the time, asking questions, getting help, bouncing ideas off one another, using them for three-way phone calls, using them for group chats all the time. Why? Because in the beginning, guys, they always say facts tell, stories sell. Well, the facts are the information, the overview, right? We have an academy, we have go live sessions, we have the apps and the scanners and the trades and all that stuff, right? So that's the what, right? But those are the facts and the figures. Facts tell, stories sell. And in the beginning, you don't have a story, right? You're brand new, right? Maybe you have a reason for why you did this, which hopefully you have, and you've identified like why you're really here and why you got started in IM, why you wanted to learn trading, why you wanted to build a business and work for yourself and all these things. Like hopefully you've identified that already. If you haven't, take the time to figure out what that is, write it down on paper, and build that image in your mind, like Alex always talks about. But you don't want to build this by yourself. And one of those reasons in the beginning, two main reasons why. One is you can leverage the stories of other people who have come before you, right? As you're sharing this with people, right? Your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you grew up with, right? A lot of these individuals, they see you for however they see you, right? You went to high school with these people. You went to college with these people. You played sports with these people, right? You had sleepovers. You played video games. These are the people that, like, they have seen you at your worst. They have seen you at your most vulnerable points in your life. And then here you are coming around with, an opportunity for them to make money, build a business, learn trading, learn financial literacy. The point is they only see you as however they saw you before you were a part of this company. They know you as the guy that partied maybe a little bit too hard at that one party, or they know you as that guy that, I don't know, maybe you did something shady growing up, or maybe they know you as the guy that, I don't know. People have all these experiences. You guys have all these relationships with people that, it's hard for them sometimes to take you seriously as the expert with trading, seriously as the expert with building businesses, going out and, doing something great, amazing, achieving freedom, all these things. So it's really, really, really important. And it's also strange at the same time that a lot of times your friends, your family, your prospects, they will actually trust and listen to a complete stranger that they have never met before they will listen to you. Why? Because they have that familiarity there. There's that familiarity where, again, they see you only a certain way for right now until they get to see you in a different light, right? So that's why it's important when you don't have a story, you can still utilize other people's stories. Like you can put people in a group chat with AJ. You can put people in a group chat with Matt Werner or Jake Maldo or Coach CJ or Colton or any leader that you're working with, and you can allow their story to move the person that you're talking to, right? So again, you do not want to build this business by yourself. And I want you guys to actually write that down on paper at the very top, right? Wealth building is a team sport. And, in school, when you get detention and they say, I will not do blank, I want you guys to think of that in your head. I will not work by myself. I will not work by myself. I will not work by myself. Have the mentality that you'll do this by yourself if you have to, but just know that you don't have to. And it's honestly less effective if you're trying to do this all alone. And it's less duplicatable if you do that. I actually got the whiteboard out because AJ requested it. He saw me drawing before and he really likes my art capabilities. So, as a popular demand, I got the whiteboard out. So, guys, when you are going through and you are inviting people to take a look at the information, whether it's get on an overview call, come to a live event, check out the information, whatever the case might be, there are a couple of things you can do. I like to have people put me, like if I'm being put in a group chat or a three-way phone call with somebody, I actually prefer if that connection can be made before they see the information. So if you guys are inviting to the overview call tonight, right at 9 p.m. Central, we do it every single night. It would be really ideal, in my opinion, if you could make the connection with your prospect and your leader actually before the call even starts, because they can commit to being on that call with your leader, whoever you're working with, right? Whoever that leader is. I would say, if you can find a P1000 and above in your organization that you can lean on, they'll share their story. They'll get them committed to hopping on the overview call, checking out the information. And again, people a lot of times will trust a complete stranger before they'll trust you. And people flake a lot, right? People flake all the time. It's really common for people to flake out on their friends. It's less common for people to flake out on somebody else that might be a stranger that they made a commitment to. They tell AJ, they tell, Jordan, who's on here, they tell Rob, they tell Joey or whoever that, hey, I'm going to be on this call tonight at 9 p.m. Like I'm going to be on that call. They make it more of a priority, which is weird. And it's almost counterintuitive, but it's the truth. It's how it works. It's just the fact. So, that's something that I would say is if you can make the connection beforehand, do it. If not, that's totally cool. Make the connection as soon as the overview call is over. So you can actually see firsthand how people, do the follow-up process, how you can see how a leader does closing, right? And AJ is going to go over closing here after we get through edification, but you actually get to see this firsthand. And when I think back, that's how I learned. I learned by listening, shutting my mouth. I made the connection, and then I removed myself, right? And I just watched, I just observed, I listened. I saw how they answered questions. I saw how they shared their story. I saw how they, closed that person into the business. And that's how I learned how to do it. I just shut my mouth and I let them do the heavy lifting for me, guys. And that's what's beautiful about this business is you can do that as well as your story is getting created. This is going to help you create your Platinum 600 story, your Platinum 1000 story, your, P2000 run and beyond story is going to come by you leveraging the stories of other people. And then eventually you're going to be that person that's being leveraged, right? And you're going to have to know how to do this for the people in your team that want to use you. So the reason that, the reason that edification is so important between your prospects and the leader that you might be working with is right here. So let's just draw a little triangle here and let's put you right at the tippy top, right? So, some of you might not agree with AJ, recruiting me for my art capabilities, but that's okay. We'll save those comments till another call. But, we're going to put you at the tippy top. So I want you guys to think of it like this. Let me actually erase this. Let me actually erase this for right now. Okay, so here's you, right? And then you are talking to whoever your prospect is, right? You're talking to your friend, your coworker, your buddy, prospect, forgot how to spell for a second. So there's you, your prospect, and then your leader, whoever it is that you are, building this with, whoever you're going to be making the introduction to. Well, between you and your leader, there is trust there, right? Because you know who it is that you're working with. You have trust there. You have some sort of a relationship there. You know each other. You're not complete strangers, right? And then between you and your prospect, you also have trust, right? Between you and your prospect, your friend, whoever it is, and your leader, there's trust there. However, there's a gap between your prospect and your leader. And it's extremely important. This is why edification does this. It will bridge the gap between your leader and your prospect, and you're going to actually be the one that creates trust between your prospect and your leader. The reason that that's important is if you don't do this, then they're going to look at that leader, again, stranger danger, right? They're going to literally say, this might just be somebody that's trying to get into my pockets because they don't know who this is. Just because you know who it is doesn't mean that they know who it is. And it's your job to obviously bridge that gap and create trust between the leader and your prospect. Okay. And this is really simple. It does not take a lot of time. Honestly, it shouldn't take a lot of time. It should be like 30 seconds or less. One of the ways, and really the main way that I was taught how to edify is really simple outline. Fact, heart. I want you guys to write that down at the top of your paper. Fact, heart. I'm just going to draw a heart. You guys like that? That's my heart. Fact, heart. So if you guys have ever hopped on the overview call where I'm either edifying Joey or AJ or whoever it is, this is the outline that I use. And if you don't know 2 facts about the leader that you're working with, maybe spend some time with them, figure out what the facts are. So when you guys, hear me pass the call over to Joey, for example, or if I was using him for a group chat or a 3-way phone call, I would say the exact same thing, right? I would say, guys, I'm going to pass the call over to a guy that's been a mentor to me. This is an individual that's not only made 6 figures, but 7 figures. He just got inducted into the $1 Million Hall of Fame last year. Those are 2 facts that I just listed about, Joey Wilson. Those are 2 facts. And then I say, but what I really respect about this guy is he's got a heart of gold. He would give you the shirt off of his back if you ask for it. He's a good old fashioned Midwest dude. And he's been able to help a lot of people, including myself. And that is why I follow him and I respect him so much. You see how that feels a little bit different than you just saying like, oh, here's a guy that's making $100,000 a month. Joey, here's my buddy, Josh. Right. And that's all you say. It feels a little bit cold yet. You know what I'm saying? So fact, heart is an outline that you guys can utilize with whoever it is that you're edifying. And you could do the same thing with AJ, or you could do the same thing with whatever leader it is that you're talking to. But again, you want to be bridging that gap and making these connections with your prospect and your leader. But not only that, right? If you're actually doing this for somebody in your team, it's really, really, really important that you also edify the person that you're talking to, right? So let's just say, for example, if Kate, right, was doing a 3-way phone call for somebody inside of her team. Let's say she's doing a 3-way phone call for Gabe, right? She's doing a three-way phone call for Gabe. It's really important that Kate, she's going to get edified by Gabe. But what she's going to do as well, once she's done sharing her story, she's also going to edify Gabe, right? So that prospect, that friend can now start to see Gabe a little bit different, right? And this is what's going to happen, or what should be happening for you guys, as you guys are using different individuals, different leaders for three-way phone calls, for three-way group chats, and they're sharing their stories. They will also edify you when it comes to, your prospect. So you can also create respect between you and your friend. And let's just be real. Sometimes your friends and your family, they love you, right? They want what's best. They want to see you happy. They love hanging out. And let's just call a spade a spade. They don't always respect you. And that's fine. That's totally cool. Let's just be real. Sometimes we haven't always done things in our life yet to be worthy of respect. It is what it is, right? Why should they follow you when it comes to trading? Have you ever done anything with trading? Most people haven't. Why should they follow you when it comes to business? Have you ever done anything with business? Most people haven't. It's okay. Don't take it personal. That's probably one of the biggest tips that you guys could ever take away from, this call specifically. You could take away, just don't take anything personal, because people aren't trying to be offensive towards you, right? It is what it is, right? You have to go and earn the respect a lot of times. For the people that believe in you before you've done anything, God bless them. But that shouldn't be expected. You shouldn't be entitled to feel that way. Right? You got to do something to, like I said, bridge that gap, and your story will get created, and respect will be established by you actually going out and doing what it is that you said that you were going to do. Right? So that would be, why obviously edification is important. If you're not doing this, if you're not utilizing group chats for three ways, if you're not utilizing three-way phone calls with the leader that it is that you're working with, you're leaving a lot on the table. Right? And you're also holding yourself back from learning some skill sets and learning. Like, you can literally sit firsthand. AJ is one of the best closers I've literally ever talked to. Like Joey said, this guy's like a walking personal development book or audio. I don't know what it is. Like, every time he opens his mouth, it just like flows out. And like, some of these people are like this. Like, you hear the Davids, the Alexes, the Joeys. Some of these guys, they open their mouth, you're just like, dude, are they even human? Like, they literally they're so polished. They just do it so smoothly. It's so easy, it seems like. So you can literally sit firsthand and just watch, just see how they do it. See how they talk to your prospect, see how they answer questions, see the kind of posture and excitement that they bring to a conversation, their tonality, right? The questions that they ask, how they move people through the process. That's how you're going to learn this. I mean, you'll learn some stuff by hopping on calls like this. You'll learn some stuff from, watching some YouTube videos, but that's where you're really going to learn it, is when you start to do it yourself, and you get to literally sit in firsthand live combat with your leader in the trenches together, and you guys are just doing this side by side. That's how you learn. That's how you create that skill set. And then you do repetitions. How do you go hit chairman? How do you go hit chairman 100 in a short amount of time versus a long amount of time? How do you fit those repetitions into a shorter time window, right? You could go do that. You could do a three-way phone call and edify the best of your ability, right? AJ or Joey or whoever you're working with, right? You can edify them. And, maybe you want to go do that with 1,000 people, but if you do that with 1,000 people in 6 months versus a year and a half or 2 years, that's how you collapse timeframes. It's just how you compress repetitions. And the more repetitions that you do, the better you're going to get. The faster your story is going to get created, the more powerful your story will be. And then people will fall behind you, and they see the pace that you're setting. And then that's what people will do, because this is a monkey see, monkey do business. People don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. They watch your feet. They don't watch necessarily the words or listen to the words that you're saying. So, that's what I would say. Fact, heart. And you want to think of it. And I hope you guys drew that triangle. I'm not going to draw it again and put myself through that type of embarrassment 2 times on the same call. But I hope, there you go. I see Jordan put it on his paper. I hope you guys drew that triangle though. I want you guys to think of it just like that. You're bridging the gap, the trust gap. That's a trust triangle that I drew on the whiteboard. It's a trust triangle that you're going to be bridging. And, that's how you're going to make people feel safe. That's how you're going to make people feel heard and listened to and understood and respected themselves. Because you got to understand this. People hate being sold. Every single one of you guys on this call, you guys hate being sold. And you guys know this. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you're in an environment, you're in a store, or maybe you're at a car dealership, and you guys know what I'm talking about. When you feel like someone's trying to sell you something, it doesn't feel good. You immediately want to be like, oh, bro, I'm good. You just want to walk away and leave. The same is true in this business. And a lot of times we come to conversations and interactions with almost like, I'm trying to get you, right? I'm trying to get you. And they can feel that. And that's why sometimes, people get that negative stigma or that negative feeling about this, but you know, people love to buy. Every single one of you on this call, whether you admit it or not, loves spending money. I like spending money. Every single person loves to buy, but we hate being sold, right? So that's why it's so important to, you know, not do this by yourself, you know, do it with someone else, create that trust, create that respect. And you're going to create a duplicatable business that can run and operate with or without you. Because again, you're going to do this initially, but then you're going to teach your team how to do this. And then you'll have people joining your team, joining your business, whether you're doing anything or not. You go on a boat, or you go on a yacht with Joey and, you know, maybe the P2000 squad or whatever, and you know, you get off the yacht, 5 new people have joined your team, and they were doing 3-way calls without you because you've duplicated. Sometimes it's not always about doing what just works. Maybe you're just an amazing salesman. Maybe you just know how to close everybody because you have the perfect script, which by the way doesn't exist, but you just have just a way with words, and you're super charismatic. You're not duplicatable, but what system you're following can be and will be. Right. And it's not so much about just doing what works. It's about doing what duplicates. What you are doing, can anybody else do what you did? I believe every single person can create a 3-way group chat, do a 3-way phone call. I believe every single person can go fact, heart, and edify whoever it is that they're working with. Right. And if you get this system going and you get people operating, running on the same cylinder, I mean, that's how you create momentum. It's everybody doing the same thing at the same time. Not a couple people doing a lot. It's a lot of people just doing a little bit that leads to a lot. Does that make sense? So I did want to toss the call over to you, AJ. Just if you have anything you want to add as far as like edification goes, or if there's any like role play that you wanted to do, we can do that. But was there anything that you wanted to add when it comes to edification before we move on to closing?
Dude, I mean, first of all, you crushed that. Guys, type some 7s in the chat if you got some value from it. Dude, I'm sitting here taking notes. I'm writing notes on my paper. I'm like, yo, this is gold.
Give me 7s if you like my drawing.
Yeah, that too. This is actually an art class, guys. It's not edification. No, I mean, you nailed pretty much everything. I mean, guys, what he was talking about as far as edification, how to do it, why to do it, it's all spot on. I mean, you guys have to realize that the goal here is to build a business that outlasts you. And so I think the biggest thing that sometimes, you know, people get trapped into is trying to do this on their own, right? They want to be the expert so bad that you actually block yourself from leveling up, you know? And I was just talking to one of my leaders out in Colorado about this morning. And I'm like, sometimes when you try to be the expert, which I'm not saying he's not, right? I'm like, dude, you're a stud. But sometimes when you try to do everything on your own and you try to be the expert, you actually block a lot of your results because, you know, like you were just saying, people don't see you as the expert yet. It's good that you see yourself as it, right? Your self-image is everything. See yourself as the expert, but don't try to be the expert. Get yourself out of the way. And so I'll just tell, you know, that there's some people on this call and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but there's P150s and P600s on this call right now that you are blocking yourself from hitting P1000 and P2000 because you're trying to do everything on your own. When you're P150, P600, I admire you for hitting that rank. It is amazing. It's a great accomplishment. But you are blocking yourself from hitting the next level by not using your leader. When you're, you know, unranked or 2 and 3 or P150 or P600, you should still be using a P1000 or higher to, you know, edify and get your prospect on the phone with. So that's one thing I'll tell you, you know, P1000s or higher are really like when we're drawing that triangle in the, you know, edification scenario, the leader, you know, where Tyler wrote leader, that's really a P1000 or higher, right? That's who you want to be getting your prospects in group chats with. Not saying that the P150s and P600s don't know what they're doing, but I'm saying the P1000s and above really have that story, right? They have that success that the prospect is going to respect. And so really what I would be doing is if you're not a P1000 yet, I would be pouring as many prospects as you can into group chats and three-way phone calls with your leaders. Obviously, the higher up leader you use, the better, because the better the story is. But it should at least be a P1000 or higher. And if you are a P1000, or higher, then you need to master the art of communicating with these prospects, closing these prospects, and edifying the person on your team back to the prospect. I see this time and time again. You know, a lot of times when, you know, I get put, for example, when I get put in a group chat or a three-way phone call with somebody, basically, you know, the person on my team edifies me to their prospect. Great job. Okay. And then the big thing that they miss, though, is they don't edify their prospect to me. So they talk me up to their prospect, but you guys miss talking up your prospect. You got to make your prospect feel good. You got to make them think that you actually care about them, and you should actually care about them. So you should be saying nice things about your prospect to the leader. So they're going, oh, wow, this person actually, you know, respects me and doesn't just care about my money. They care about, you know, me as a person. So now you've built that trust between the two people. And then P1000s and above, you guys have to edify the person on your team back to their prospect, right? Because you have to give the prospect a reason to want to partner with that person, to lock arms with that person and run this thing up. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got as far as edification. I guess, you know, we can role play that. One other thing that I was going to say was edification doesn't only just apply to your prospects, guys. When you're on the phone with a prospect, some of you guys have people in your team that, so for example, there's people in Tyler's organization right now that are in your guys' teams, and you have not connected them with Tyler yet. I don't know why, but you have not made that connection. So here's what's happening. The person on your team, okay? So right now, I'm not saying anybody's above anybody, right? But if we're talking about rank and knowledge and experience in this business, right? You're right here and Tyler's right here, right? He's got the knowledge and experience a little bit more than you do. So your team right now is right here and they're only talking to you. So what's happening? Their lid is you. They can't get any other knowledge or experience or information than what you know, because they're only plugging into you. Whereas if you edify Tyler and you bridge the gap and you edify all of your organization and get them connected with a higher leader, what's the cap to your organization now? Now it's Tyler's knowledge and experience. It's not just you. You could have people in your organization pass you up, which, guys, is a blessing. If you can have people in your organization pass you up, guess what? You've got a one leg taken care of for life. So stop limiting your organization to just you. Edify the higher up leader to your entire team and make that connection so that your team's lid is not your knowledge, it's the leader's knowledge. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, Tyler, but hopefully that did.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I have for edification, because I see a lot of people, again, shooting themselves in the foot by not doing that, you know? So yeah, I mean, if you wanna role play a little bit real quick, we can do like a scenario where you're the person on the team, I'm the leader, and you're edifying me to a prospect, and then, you know, I'll edify you back and all that.
Yeah, sounds good to me. All right, I'm texted you ahead of time, said I got a three-way phone call or whatever, and then you know, ring.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, AJ? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Hey, so real quick, on the other line, I have my good buddy. Let's just call him Craig. I got my good buddy Craig, and this is a guy who I grew up with. We actually played sports with, and we worked together for a little bit when we were going to college. He's honestly just a super genuine dude. He's a hard worker. I respect him a lot, and I just think that he could really crush it with what we got going on. And I wanted to connect him to you, just because you're somebody that you've been doing this now for a few years. And Craig, just to tell you a little bit about AJ, he's been doing this now, like I said, for 3 years. He does this full time. He's made multiple six figures now, and been able to create an amazing lifestyle for him, his fiance, and his son. And not only that, it's awesome, the money and the success that he's been able to create, but this guy honestly is just a good dude. And I really respect him a lot, because not only does he know how to win himself, but he's taken the time multiple times to help me, and would literally give me the shirt off of his back if I asked for it. So that's what I respect about him the most, is he's just got a heart of gold. So I know by introducing the both of you that something special can definitely happen here. So without further ado, Craig, meet AJ, AJ, meet Craig.
Yo,
and then I literally would tune out, and then that's it.
Yeah. And I don't know if you want to pretend to be Craig real quick. Now we're gonna.
AJ, how are you? Craig here.
Hey, what's going on, Craig? Nice to meet you. How are you?
Hey, AJ, I'm good, man. So how do you know Tyler?
Oh man, we go way back. The Wisconsin days. Grew up in high school together. It was a good time.
Okay, I was just making sure you weren't gonna say Tinder or something on me.
No,
all right?
no. What how do you know Tyler?
You know what? Tyler came into my business a couple of years ago through a gentleman, and we've been able to grow pretty close together. I've worked with thousands of people all over the world, but Tyler, he's the real deal. He knows what he's doing. He knows where he's going. And I thought I'd just hop on here and say hi, because he told me so many good things about you. So listen, man, if you like what you see here, you're not weird. I'll just say that. This is the real deal. It's one of the hottest. It is the hottest company on the planet, and we can take you to where you want to go. So if you want to get started, listen. Just know it's a couple $100, and let's make 2022 the absolute best year of your life. What was your favorite part about the information that you saw?
Joey, you're supposed to be the prospect.
I came in last second. I have no idea. Wait, I thought Craig was the expert.
I'm the leader.
Oh, I thought Craig was the expert.
No, I'm the expert.
So was anything that I said?
Craig is the prospect.
Okay, let's start over.
All right. Well, Tyler already edified me, so I'm gonna just pretend that he already said.
Yeah, there's no way I could duplicate that.
Hey, no, yeah. Exactly. Sold or be sold. I was coming in to sell AJ on something, on another opportunity.
It's all good.
I hate those guys.
All right, so we'll pretend none of that conversation happened. So Tyler just finished edifying me, and I'm gonna say, "Yo, what's going on, Craig? Nice to meet you."
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, where you from, man?
I'm from. I live in Miami.
Oh, that's cool. How you like it out there?
You know what? I love it. I'm from Minnesota originally, got out of the cold. We're down here where the palm trees are at. I mean, the sandbar, I don't even think they could fit another boat out there right now. It's so packed. I'm just wondering, we should be out there.
Yeah, I need to move down there soon. That's cool. How do you know Tyler?
Tinder. I'm just kidding. Childhood buddy of mine.
Oh, good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's awesome. Bro, I can't even think straight right now. Joey's just...
I'm messing this whole call up. I apologize with this.
Man, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing now.
You saw the information. That was awesome, wasn't it? What'd you like best?
No, that's not... Bro, I don't even remember what I was supposed to be saying.
Let's pretend Craig has not seen the info yet. Like, you're making the connection before even getting on the overlay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There you go.
Okay.
We're just making the connection.
This could be in a group chat. This does not have to be over the phone. If you can do it over the phone, definitely do it. But even if it's over a 3-way group chat and using voice messages, it's honestly just as effective. And that's what we've been doing a lot, and it's been working. Really,
are you
well.
saying you edify the expert before they see the information?
Yes.
Yes.
And you're connecting them with the P1000 or above before they even see the information.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that's new. This is news to me. Because we used to do it always after.
We know you haven't had a leader to edify in a while. So this is, new system for you.
Well, like Chris Terry said on stage, who's supposed to be my mentor? Who's my mentor? Yeah, no, that's dope though. Connected before, and then you recall Craig after.
Yeah.
With the
So
extra.
basically, guys, you know, I don't need to sit here and have a conversation with Joey for 5 minutes, but basically I would just get to know the prospect, right? I'm gonna get to know Craig and just see, you know, where is he from? It's the whole form thing: family, occupation, recreation, message, right? I'm gonna basically see where he's from, what does he do for a living, you know, what does he like to do for fun, how does he know Tyler, all that. I'm going to build kind of a little bit of rapport with him. And I'm going to say, well, cool, man. Obviously, you know, Tyler, you know, got you interested in what we're doing. And we have a call tonight that he invited you to. So you're going to be on that call, correct? And he's obviously going to say, yeah, I'm going to be on the call. Awesome. Well, just so you know, I've worked with hundreds of people, thousands of people, and Tyler's one of the sharpest dudes that I've ever worked with. I'm excited for where he's going with this. This is my story, and I would literally tell my story. I say, I've been doing this for 3.5 years. You know, here's where I was at. I was coaching gymnastics. You know, you guys hear my story on the overview every single night. I would literally tell that same story. Okay. And I would just say, look, you know, Tyler's crushing this thing. I'm teaching him everything that I know, and I can teach you too. Can we count on you jumping on this call tonight at 9 p.m.?
Absolutely, I'll be on it.
Let's go.
Dude, just like that.
Thanks, Craig.
Listen, I apologize for messing you up, AJ. It's pretty tough to mess you up. So that's hilarious. But when I start geeking out, I can't stop. So
it's all good.
I'm gonna kick it back to you guys and keep
appreciate it. Appreciate you. Hey, type some ones in the chat if that makes sense though. Seriously, I want you, if there's any confusion, I want to, you know, resolve it right now. But hopefully that makes sense. So you guys are inviting the way that you know you're supposed to be inviting, which, you know, we've talked about the 4-step invite. We've talked about prospecting. I have a call that I did. It was a couple months back that was on inviting and prospecting. It's on my YouTube channel. If you guys go look at it, literally somebody on my team watched it last night. They're like, holy crap, this is gold. I literally they said they started using it and they already got 3 people for the call tonight. So the inviting works if you do it correctly. So make sure to go watch that inviting call. But after you invite them and you get them, you know, wanting to jump on the call, then you have to get them in either a 3-way group chat or get them on the 3-way phone call with the leader. And you're going to edify the leader like Tyler just edified me. Okay. And then the leader, okay, listen, if you're a P1000 or above, you need to be paying attention. If you are the leader, you need to build a relationship with the prospect. You need to form them. Where are you from? What do you do for a living? How do you know so-and-so? Awesome. Well, I heard that he invited you to the call tonight. Are you excited to jump on? Cool. This person, and now I'm going to edify that person right back. This person is a stud. They've been doing this for such and such long. One of the hardest workers I work with. I know that they're going to the top with this thing, and I'm teaching them every single thing that I know. Here's my story, right? The leader is going to basically just share the story, okay? Share their story, and then say, can we count on you jumping on the call? You're just confirming that they're getting on, okay? So again, type some 3s in the chat if that makes sense. I know we got rowdy there for a second. That was fun.
That was fun.
It was. So cool. So hopefully you guys now understand what it should look like day to day to build this business, right? You should be inviting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people a day. And the ones that say yes to the call, you're doing this edification process with the leader. Again, honestly, you should be doing this system until really you're a P2000. I was putting Joey, right, in 3-way phone calls until I was a P2000. And even now, I still do it. There was a guy that I signed up probably about 3 months ago. His name's Trey. He's from Miami. And I got him on the phone. And I basically got Joey on the phone as well. And I edified Joey, and I did that whole edification triangle with this guy, Trey. And then Trey checked out the information and he signed up right away. Right? Personal trainer out in Miami. I'm a Platinum 5000 and I still use this system, right? Never get too big for the little things. Okay. Remember this quote. I want you to write it down. Never get too big for the little things. Otherwise, the big things will become too little for you. Right? Understand that you will not receive the big things in life if you become too big to do these little things. You have to consistently do them. So edify your prospects correctly. To the leaders, make sure you're forming and you're sharing your story and you're edifying the person on the team back. When you're getting on these phone calls, you're getting in these group chats. Okay. Again, the leaders, like Tyler has written down there, are P1000s and above. If you're P150 and P600 and I'm hurting your feelings, I'm sorry. Go hit P1000. Okay. Simple as that. I don't know what to tell you. You're probably blocking yourself from hitting P1000 because you've been trying to do it on your own. Okay. And then make sure. Is Joey playing music again? What is Joey doing over there? But yeah, guys. So make sure that you're doing that, but also make sure that you're edifying your leader to your organization. Okay. Remember, the people in your organization, they're being blocked right now to only what you know. So edify the leader, bring them into your organization and allow them to be a resource for your team. So that way the lid is not you. The lid is all the way up here and they've got a lot of growth to do to get there. Okay. So that's all I got for edifying. Do you want to say anything else before we move on to closing, Tyler?
No, that was a roller coaster, but hopefully you guys are getting some value from this. Let us know if this is helpful. Is there any questions before we move on? If you guys have any questions about edification or anything, let's cover it quick. If not, let's move on to closing and we can do questions at the end too if we need to. But otherwise, yeah, bro, this has been fun. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, closing will be a lot quicker. We'll be done. This will be fast. It'll be way faster than edifying. I think honestly, you do have to go into edifying in detail though, because if you do it the wrong way, it doesn't even work. So
yeah, just have fun with it. I think that's a takeaway that we can take away from this call too, is have fun with it.
Yeah, don't be weird.
Have fun with everything you guys do, with prospecting, with your stories you post, with doing presentations. Have fun with it. People want to follow people that, one, know where they're going, and two, they're having fun doing it. Nobody wants to follow somebody that's just like, they can tell that like you're just stressed to the max. Have fun with it. These are normal people, normal conversations. You got started for a reason. Odds are if you saw value and you like what it is that we're doing, odds are other people will too. But removing yourself in the beginning and allowing, the other person to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, the people that you're sharing this with, they're watching the way that you do this. And that's a big key. They're watching the way that you invite. They're watching the way that, how hard it is for you to show them the information. And, when they see you, not answering all their questions, not verbally vomiting and trying to explain everything in a novel of a text message or explain everything over an hour-long phone call, and they see that, let's use Jordan, right? So let's just say Jordan's talking to somebody and they go, dang, dude, I was asking Jordan all these questions. And what did he do? He put me in a group chat or put me in a three-way phone call, real quick, 5-minute phone call, introduced me to his leader, AJ or Jake, or whoever he's working with. And, he introduced me to them. They shared their story with me. They got me on the overview call that they do every night. You're telling me I could do the same thing? I could do that. And then people see themselves already having success and being able to do this before they even do it. Versus if you try to, explain everything yourself, you might do a great job. But in their mind, they might be thinking, that sounds cool, but I can't do what he just did. That's, again, where you fall into that duplicatable, thinking, right? Just because what you do might work doesn't mean that it's always duplicatable. So having that kind of structure is where you're going to be able to succeed yourself, but also show people in your team how to do exactly what you did. So.
Sheesh. Guys, hopefully you wrote that down. That might have been the best tip of the entire call. Understanding that your prospect is watching everything that you do, how you invite them, how you present the information, how you close them, all of that. What he just said was gold, right? If you're trying to, again, this goes back to you trying to be the expert. If you're trying to be the expert and do everything, your prospect is literally thinking, dang, do I have to do that? I got to do the presentation. I got to invite people. I got to close people. Or if they just see you say, hey, are you free to call for a call at 9? They toss you in a group chat with a leader, right? You toss them in a group chat with a leader, and then the leader does the rest. They're thinking, this dude literally said, are you free at 9, and put me in a group chat, and the other person did the rest of the work. I can do that, right? So that's money. But yeah, guys, so basically I'm going to just take over the call real quick. I'm going to talk about closing, and then Tyler, I'll bring you back on to add anything that you've got afterwards. I just removed my own spotlight. Oops, there we go. Cool, guys. So closing. All right. Who would like to close more prospects that you show? I want you to type some 7s in the chat. Okay. Because this is something that I've honestly spent a lot of time, right? I know, I love that Tyler and Joey, they have such nice, kind words to say about me when it comes to, me knowing my stuff. But I'll just tell you guys this, it's because I've studied the top earners for the last 7 years. I've just studied, and I've asked questions, and I've watched. And like Tyler said, I never tried to be the expert. I always pushed it off on Joey or the other experts. So when my prospect saw the information, I pushed it off on the expert, and I watched the expert close my prospect. I watched experts do it for years. That's how I got good at it. Okay. And so definitely watch your leaders close this prospect. But if you're a leader on this call, or you want to be a leader on this call, then you should definitely master what I'm going to tell you right now. So basically, the first thing is called the 3-step close. Okay. So I need you guys to write down the 3-step close. This is what I use after the prospect has seen the information. Okay. And honestly, this is what you should be when you call that prospect back with the person on your team and you're talking to them again. This is the first thing that should come out of your mouth when you get back on the phone with the prospect. Okay. Step number one is pretty awesome, right? You see why we're so excited? Pretty awesome, right? You see why we're so excited? It's all positivity. Okay. Step number 2. Okay, obviously you're going to wait for them to respond. They're going to say, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Step number 2, what did you like best? The trading side, the business side, or both? Notice I'm not asking them, what did you think? I don't care what they thought, right? I want a positive answer from my prospect. Remember, we're going to keep it positive during the close. So what did you like best? The trading side, the business side, or both? Write this down in little asterisks, stars, underline it, whatever. Always agree with whatever they say. So if you say, what did you like best? The trading side, the business side, or both? And they say, honestly, I like both. You say, awesome. I felt the same way when I first saw this. Okay. You're always going to agree with whatever they say. Okay. So step 1, pretty awesome, right? You see why we're so excited. Step 2, what part did you like best? The trading side, the business side, or both? You're going to agree with them. And then step number 3, do you have any questions, or are you ready to get started? Right? Do you have any questions, or are you ready to get started? Guys, some of you are inviting, edifying the leader, getting them on the presentation, making the connection, and calling them after the call. Saying pretty awesome, right? Asking what they like best. But you're not even asking for the sale. How do you expect people to buy from you if you don't ask them to buy? Right? This is something in sales that, if you're in sales, you'll learn this. And, I hate of thinking this like sales, but when you're closing prospects, you really have to think this way. But in sales, they've done research on this. It is a fact that on average, you have to ask your customer 3 times to buy before they actually buy. Write that down. It is a fact that you have to ask your customer to buy 3 times before they actually buy. Okay? So some of you aren't even asking once, but some of you ask once and then you leave it at that. Okay? So you're going to ask, do you have any questions? Are you ready to get started? Typically, they're going to hit you with a question or an objection. If they hit you with a question, obviously, again, the leader is going to answer the question to the best of their ability. If you are edifying the leader and getting them on the phone, you need to shut up. Don't say anything. Okay? You edified the leader. Don't interrupt them. Stay out of the way. You've gotten yourself out of the way. Now stay out of the way. Okay? Let the leader do the work. But this is good information for you to learn for once you become that leader. Okay? So after the prospect asks the question, you're going to answer the question to the best of their ability. They say, well, so how much is it again? And what is it monthly? You say, awesome. Well, it's actually $235 one time and then $175 a month. Is that the only question you had? Are you ready to rock and roll? Notice how I asked them to get started again, just in a different way. Okay, so you answer the question and then you ask them to get started again, just in a different way. And then they might hit you with an objection. Okay, who on this call has gotten an objection from a prospect? Type in the chat if you got an objection from a prospect. If you haven't, you're not showing enough people. So I'm about to go through with you guys, and I want you to write these down because I'm about to go through with you guys how to handle every single objection that you will ever get from anybody. Some of you guys, you show your prospect, they give you an objection. You're like, all right, man, well, just, let me know when you want to get started. And then you leave it at that. Okay. There's ways to handle the objections. There's ways to, handle what they're telling you and actually still get them started. Okay. So here are a few of the objections that you might get. And I want you to write all these down because I'm going to go through every single one of them. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I need to talk to my parents. I need to talk to my spouse. I need to pray on it. I need to think about it. It's a pyramid scheme. I don't know if trading works. I don't know if I can do it. Those are probably the most, the objections that you're going to get the most. All right. So I'm going to go through every single one of these and how I would respond to them very quickly. So make sure that you're listening and you're writing it down. First one, my favorite one, because this was my objection, is I don't have the money. Okay. Now, here's a powerful phrase that you can use. All right. It's called feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. You're going to say how you feel for that person's problem and relate to them saying, you felt the same way. And then you're going to say, I found, and you're going to talk about a solution. Okay. Now this applies to some objections, but not all of them. Okay. Because, if they say, I want to talk to my spouse and you don't have a spouse, you can't really say that you felt that way. So it's only going to apply to some of them that you actually felt in that situation. So for me, when somebody says, hey man, I'd love to get started, but I don't have the money. I say, hey man, I totally feel that. I felt the same way 3.5 years ago when I saw this. I was honestly broke as a joke. I had $250 to my name and I used every last dollar that I had to get started because I found that if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have just stayed broke. The only way I was going to get something different was if I did something different. So I decided to take that leap of faith, figure out the money, and get started right away. So what are you working with? How much money do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Well, I got 150 bucks. Okay. Well, there is a way that I can get you started, right? For $185. It's $50 off right now. Okay. If it's traditional pricing, then, $235. So you say, I can get you started, for 185 bucks. You got 150 right now. I'm going to ask you something. What is your dream car? Ferrari. Awesome. If I was holding the keys to a Ferrari in front of you right now, and I said, you go find 50 bucks in the next hour and get started, the keys of this Ferrari are yours. Would you go find it? Oh, heck yeah. What would you do to go find it? Well, I'd probably borrow 20 bucks from this person. I actually have a pair of shoes I could probably go sell at a thrift shop for 25 bucks. There's 45. Hey, 45, good enough. I want you to go do those two things in the next hour. Let me know when you got the money. We'll get you started. Sound good? Sounds good. Okay. Some of you guys, there's people that do. First of all, there's people that are telling you they don't have the money. They have the money. Most of the times they do have the money, which is why I asked the question, well, what are you working with? How much do you have? And sometimes they'll tell you, oh, I have the money, but I have to use it for bills. Okay, let me ask you something. And I'm not trying to sound irresponsible, but you paying your bills, how much money is that going to make you? Nothing. Okay, so you're going to pay your bills and then what? Still be broke? Yeah, I guess so. Cool. So why don't we do something more productive with that money? We get you started. I teach you how to start trading the markets. I teach you how to start building your online business. We make all that money back and then some, and you put yourself in a better situation financially. Does that sound good? Yeah, it sounds good. Cool. So can we get you started? Right? I'm problem solving. You guys have to realize closing is problem solving. I want you to write that down on your sheet of paper. Closing equals problem solving. Right? Most people look at closing as like a negative word, like you're pushing people, like you're trying to hammer people into the system. No, all you're doing when you're closing is you're offering a helping hand to problem solve, because most people have not been taught the skill set of problem solving. It's not something that they really teach, growing up. And so that's all closing is. It's problem solving. Okay. Type some ones in the chat if that handling the money objection right there makes sense. Perfect. So that is how I handle the money objection. I basically just solve their problem for them and help them figure out a way to get past it. I don't have the time. This is a really easy one. I don't have the time. Okay. Let me ask you something real quick. Do you think there's time in your week? I respect that you're busy. Okay. You acknowledge every person's objection. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. Don't tell people they're wrong for thinking the way that they're thinking. Then they're just going to get mad. Acknowledge the way people feel. Hey man, I totally respect that you're a busy person and I definitely don't want to waste your time. But can I ask you a serious question? Yes. Do you think that there's 2 to 5 hours a week that you're wasting right now doing something that's probably not productive? Most cases, people are going to say yes. Okay. And when they say yes, say, well, why don't we just fill that 2 to 5 hours in with you copying trades from our apps, hopping on a couple go live sessions and building the business, and you can start earning an extra income part-time. And I bet you it'll allow you to work less and you can get your time back. Again, you're problem solving for people. Another question you can ask people, if they say, oh, I work 80 hours a week, I got a family, I'm super busy, I literally have no time for anything. I don't do anything fun at all. Like you ask if they're wasting any time. They're like, nope, I don't waste any time. I literally have nothing. Okay. You go back, hey man, totally respect that you're a busy person. And I definitely don't want to waste your time. But can I ask you a serious question? Yeah, for sure. What's up? Is it your life goal to be that busy forever? Like, do you want to be that busy? It sounds like you're a little bit stressed out about it. Is it your goal to be that busy for the rest of your life? Well, no. Well, cool. Why don't we carve out? Is there any way that we can carve out 2 to 5 hours a week, do this part-time, we start earning some extra income where you can actually work less, get your time back, and you can spend more time with your family. You can spend more time doing the things that you love. Does that sound good? Right? Again, problem solving. Okay? So there's the time one. I need to talk to my parents, right? This is for all of you guys that are young, showing young people the business. This one's the funniest one. I laugh at this one every single, like when I'm on the phone, I'm literally trying to not laugh when people tell me this one. And this is what I straight up tell people. I just say, hey man, I'm going to be straight up with you. Is that cool? Yeah. I want you to think about every successful person that you know. Every successful multimillionaire, billionaire, doctor, lawyer, any of that. Do you think that those people had to ask their parents on if they should start a business or if they should go do a certain thing that was going to set them financially free? Do you think they asked for permission? Do you think Jeff Bezos asked his parents for permission to start Amazon? Do you think Steve Jobs asked for permission from his parents to start Apple? Or do you think they just had the ambition to go do something different with their life regardless of what anybody thought? Yeah, I guess I didn't ever thought of it like that. Yeah, man. So I'm going to be straight up with you. If you have to go talk to your parents about investing your money and starting an online business, you're probably not ready for this. I pull it away. If I'm talking to an 18-year-old kid and they're trying to tell me they need to go talk to their parents, I am straight up I'm going to reality check them in a nice way. I'm going to say, look, if you got to go talk to your parents and ask for permission to build your wealth and become financially free and help them out, this ain't for you, dude. I'm going to just tell you that you're not going to win. You're not going to win here because I'm not trying to waste my time or theirs. Right. And it's kind of the same thing with the spouse. Somebody says, I need to go talk to my spouse. You can say, look, if you were confident in the fact that there was something that could change you and your family's life financially forever, would it matter what your spouse thinks? Like if you're confident that trading and investing and building an online business can set you and your wife financially free, does it matter what she's going to say? No, not really. I just want to, maybe get her, just talk to her and, just run it by her. Hey, I get that. But let me also ask you something. Have you ever spent $200 on something without your wife's permission? Yeah. Cool. Let's get you started, bro. Right? Like, again, your problem solving. You're getting people to think differently. Okay? I need to pray on it. I like this one, right? Because I'm a spiritual person as well. Like, hey, man, I'm a very spiritual person. I don't want to jump right into it. I think I should honestly pray on it, and I'll let you know tomorrow. Hey, man, I'm a spiritual person too. And I don't think that God is, putting us in conversation by coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. So honestly, if you want to pray, let's pray right now, man. You pray whatever you want to, and I'm going to sit here and pray with you. Let's pray through this and do whatever we need to do to have the conversation. Like, let's pray right now. I will sit there and pray with them. And after we get done praying, I'm going to say, look, I hope that helps you feel a little bit better about this. But in all reality, God didn't put this in your life for no reason. He didn't show you financial freedom. He didn't show you a better opportunity for your life for no reason, for you to just say no, right? And then move towards them getting started, right? Ask them to get started again. Okay, I'm going to keep moving fast because I want to get done with this call. Okay, the whole pyramid scheme objection. I need to sit here and go over this one because some of y'all are getting upset. You're getting mad when people tell you this. Okay? Type 3s in the chat if you guys have gotten upset for somebody saying, is this a pyramid scheme? Stop getting mad. Okay? I want you to understand something very quickly. When people say this is a pyramid scheme or is this a pyramid scheme, I want you to realize, remember what Bob Proctor teaches. Our subconscious minds and our beliefs and our morals are formed through our childhood. Years and years and years of ideas, thoughts, and words and physical actions beaten into our subconscious mind our entire childhood. So realize if somebody is telling you, is this a pyramid scheme? You have to realize that that person probably grew up with zero education on money, on wealth, on abundance, on open-mindedness, right? On networking and relationships. That person has had a negative subconscious paradigm formed in their brain, and that's why they're spewing out what they're spewing out. So don't get mad at them because they don't know any different, right? I was blessed to grow up in a household where my dad put Jim Rohn in my ear at 13 years old. He was handing me personal development books when I was 15, 16 years old. I was very blessed to have a father that taught me about networking and relationships and being open-minded and believing in yourself. I was super, super grateful for that because I think it has played a huge part in who I am. But you guys have to realize other people don't have that. And I had to come to that realization that people just have the wrong paradigm in their mind when it comes to success. And so here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. You can educate without being rude, without being mean, without being sarcastic. Actually want to educate your prospect on the industry. Okay, so here's what I do. They say, well, is this a pyramid scheme? And I'll say, well, what do you mean by that? What's your definition of a pyramid scheme? And usually they give the wrong answer because they don't even know what the definition of a pyramid scheme is. You know, they'll tell you, oh, it's where you recruit people to make money. Every company in the world recruits people to make money, right? Now, don't say this, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, are you stupid? Every company in the world has to recruit customers to make money. Your phone plan, your insurance, your rent, like where you live, your clothes, everything, your school you went to, every single thing in the world has recruited you to be a customer. Like that's how the world goes round. Now I'm thinking this in my head, but I'm not going to actually say it to them. But here's where you have to educate. Write this down. The definition of a pyramid scheme is an exchange of money with no service or product. Write it down. The definition of a pyramid scheme is an exchange of money with no service or product. So I'm going to tell my prospect that after they give me their definition, I'm going to say, hey man, that's actually not what a pyramid scheme is. I don't know if maybe you got misinformed by someone, but if you look it up, the actual definition of a pyramid scheme is an exchange of money with no service or product. There's some, schemes out there that are actually operating like this, and it's very unfortunate because it gives our industry a bad name. But as you can tell, we have a great service, we have a great product, and we're exchanging money for that service and product, which just makes us a normal business, a normal company, where people are able to pay to be a customer and get the education to be an expert trader in the markets, right? So notice how I came at them. I came at them from an educational standpoint that now they actually know what a pyramid scheme is and they know what the mission of our company is and what we're doing. And regardless of whether they get started or not, they're not left with a bad taste in their mouth. It doesn't matter if they get started, but now you don't have somebody that's looking at you from a negative standpoint. You don't have somebody bashing you to other people that you're doing this. You know, some of you are like, oh, F the haters, blah, 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 whatever, right? But you breeding those bad relationships is not helping you. So don't be rude to people when you're closing them. Just keep good relationships. Guys, there's people that I showed network marketing to 7 years ago that have joined my business in the last 6 months. I want you to think about that. There was people that I showed the business to in 2014 that joined my business in 2022. You know why? Because I never burnt the bridge. I never burned that relationship. Okay? So when you get the pyramid scheme objection, just come from a point of education. Okay? They don't believe in trading. Well, the facts are the facts. Again, you come from the educational standpoint. Well, hey, man, I want you to understand. I don't know if you heard it on the call, but inflation is real. The cost of everything is going to keep going up. And if you don't figure out a way to invest your money, you're going to be put in a really bad situation. That's why I'm sharing this with you, because a $50,000 salary this year is worth $45K next year. And it's going to keep going down. So you're going to keep making that 50 grand, but it's going to be worth less because the cost of everything keeps going up. And so I just want to put you in a position to win, and this industry and this company can do it. So is there any questions that you have about trading that's, making you a little skeptical that I can answer? Again, you're coming from an educational standpoint. Okay. And here's the last one. They don't believe in themselves. Now, I want you to remember this, guys. These people are going to give you all these objections, but they all stem from this last one. And it's that they don't believe in themselves. The reason why they're giving you all these objections is because deep down, they don't believe that they can actually win. And so they're projecting it via an objection. And so the best thing that you can do is be their friend. Hey, man, it's all good if you don't think that you can do this, but I want you to understand, I felt the same exact way. When I got started with this, I literally had zero belief that I could do this. And I want you to know that I've learned from the best of the best on how to get good at this and how to do it at a high level. And not only am I going to teach you everything that I know and have your back, but I'm going to make sure that I connect you with the right people so that they help you to win as well. Does that sound good? So first of all, type something in the chat if you guys are getting value from this, if this is helping at all. And hopefully the biggest thing that you are getting away from closing is that it's you educating and problem solving. It's not you being this, hard ass that's trying to push people into the system. Okay? I actually wrote this down on my notes. Don't be pushy and rude. Be caring and educational. Don't be pushy and rude. Be caring and educational. Okay? That's how you're going to get people to move to a decision of a yes. It's a transfer of belief. They got to believe in you. They got to believe in what we're doing. So if you can be caring and educational, they're not only going to believe and trust you, they're going to believe in what we're doing. And if you can transfer that belief to, I believe in you, I believe in what we're doing, they'll get started 100% of the time. Okay? So that's what I got for closing. The last thing I'll tell you is the people that don't sign up on the spot. Bam, fam. Write this down. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Book a meeting from a meeting. You never get off the phone with a prospect without booking the next time that you're going to talk to them. So if you just showed them, 2-on-1 on Zoom, right? Or at a coffee shop, it was you, the leader, and the prospect. And you guys are on Zoom or you're at a coffee shop. and the leader sat there pushing to close them, the last thing that you're going to do, and they didn't sign up, you're going to say, hey, well, cool, man. How about I hit you up in a week and we'll see where you're at. And whatever their objection was, if it was money, you can say, hey, how about, we get back together on Friday. We'll see where the money's at. And we can talk about getting you started. Does that sound good? Right? Or whatever the objection was. Okay. If it was something with belief, then you should probably get them on another call. Right? You're sitting there at the coffee shop with them. You say, hey, well, we actually have an overview tonight with some of the top earners in our team. You should definitely get on and see the bigger picture of what we're doing. Right? Bam, fam. Okay. Book a meeting from a meeting. Always book something. Never leave it. Even if it's a month down the road. If they say, if you push them and push them and push them and push them, and they're like, you know what, man, no, I think I really want to wait a month and then I'll be ready to get started. No worries, man. What day works for you? April 18th. Perfect. I'm going to put it in my phone. I'll give you a call on April 18th. I want to make sure that you pick up that phone call and we'll talk about getting you started. Does that sound good? Yeah, cool. So that's the last thing I got is just bam, fam, book a meeting from a meeting. So Tyler, I'll bring you back on here. I don't know if you got anything to add to that, but man, I think this call was filled with some sauce.
Yeah, bro, you crushed that, bro. I mean, you literally covered every objection, I think that's facts.
Yeah,
I had some ones in the chat for AJ, guys. That was fire. He covered every single objection, and that's going to be from what I'm going to give you guys. I don't have much else for you. AJ just did a great job, but there is one, I guess what I like to do when it comes to, the flow of a conversation. It's really important that you have a structure in your mind for how you want a conversation to go, because if you don't have that, you're not going to be in control of the conversation. Your prospect's going to be in control of the conversation. And you are going to lose credibility if that's the case, because they're going to be able to feel that. So, obviously you have your invitation process, the perfect invite, the 4-step invite that you guys have all seen probably multiple times at this point. So there's that, right? That's step one. And then, the next step would be going through connecting on a 3-way phone call or a 3-way group chat with edification, which we just went over at the beginning of the call. And then you have obviously the presentation itself, the overview, the event maybe that you invited them to, or whatever the case is, however you showed them the information. After that, AJ went over, right? What'd you like best? Or you see why we're excited now, right? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty dope. Yeah. And you just always be in like that upbeat, positive, and you want to get them in yes mode is the way you can kind of think about it. And it's like, so what'd you like best? Trading, building a business, or both? They say whatever they say, you agree with them. And then what I like to do, the way that I usually ask for the sale, that's been working really well. I use this in group chats, 3-way phone calls. I do it for my own, my own prospects. I just basically say, so let me know, just so I know where you're at on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you never want to talk about IM or trading ever again. And I purposely, if I'm sending a voice message, I'll laugh. I'm on the phone, I'll laugh. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you never want to talk about IM or trading ever again, or 10 being you're ready to get started right now, where would you say you're at currently on a scale of 1 to 10? A lot of people have said 10. They're like, dude, let's do this. Let's go. Some people say, whatever number, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you just go, okay, cool, man. I appreciate that. So let me know, like, what do you need? What questions do you need answered to go from a 7 to a 10? Right. And then they give you whatever the objection is, right? AJ just went over all the objections that you're probably going to run into time and time again. And, then you can confront whatever that is, or just simply answer whatever question that it is that they had. And then, let's say it is a belief thing. And like AJ said, that is most people's objections, is they just don't believe in themselves. And when he said that, it's funny. I thought back to when I first got the first introduction to network marketing I had was literally a random Zoom call. Some of you heard me, share my story on overviews and stuff. That's the truth. I was living in a 5-guy house, a college housing, right? And I got on a random Zoom call. I'd never heard of network marketing before. This is so funny. After that overview was done, after that Zoom call was over, I remember I lived in a 5-guy house, 4 other dudes. And I walked downstairs. I remember I literally told them the meeting that I was just on. And they're just like, so tell us about it. How does it work? And I kind of explained it, which is not what you're supposed to do, but I did. And there's like, oh, so a pyramid scheme, right? I didn't even know what that was. I was just like, yeah, I guess so. Pretty dope. I was just like so excited. I was just something different. It is what it is, right? It's just, but thinking back, I remember my initial hesitation was I didn't believe in myself. I had heard some stories on that call of some people having success, and I was like, well, good for them. but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it. That was my thinking. And the guy, his name's Albie, the guy that recruited me into network marketing in 2016, he was so confident. It wasn't even that I believed in myself. I just believed so much in what he was saying and the confidence that he had. He literally was like, bro, we're literally going to help you every single step of the way. I'll teach you everything that I know. I'll work side by side with you to make sure that you're successful. That was all I needed to hear. I'm like, dude, what? All right, dude, if you say that, let's do it. So what I like to do, like if somebody is, scale of 1 to 10, where you at? I'm a 7. Great. What questions you get answered to get to a 10, right? And if it's something along those lines of a belief or whatever the case is, I like to ask, AJ talked about feel, felt, found. Write this one down as well. If I, would you? So what I like to say is, well, hey man, if I was to work directly with you, me and, if you introduce them to someone, obviously me and AJ, me and Jordan, me and Jake, me and Brandon, me and whoever, right? If me and fill in the blank were to work closely with you, teach you everything that we know to make sure that you have success with this, are you willing to move forward and get started? Boom, there you go. Right. So, then if they have other objections, like, they'll bring it up from there. But if that really is a belief issue for most people, a lot of times they just want to know that they're not going to be brought in and just thrown to the wolves. Right. People want to know that you're going to help them. Right. Just like when you start a new job, you don't start a new job and the manager just says, all right, dude, don't figure it out. No, they literally train you. They have somebody, you'll shadow somebody for a week if they have to, and they'll literally hold your hand and show you step by step how to do this thing. Right. I know for a fact that's what AJ's done. That's what Joey's done. Right. I mean, Joey literally talks about how he would literally go drive to people's houses, put them in his passenger seat. All right, dude, let's go show people. And he would go with them and just help them show people how to do this thing. And sometimes that's all people need to know. They just need to know that you're not just trying to sign them up to get a paycheck. They want to know that this is a partnership and that you're going to be there to support them. Obviously, you can't control how serious they take this. You can't control that. Nobody can, right? But, you are going to be the person that will be there to help them and to hold up your end of the deal, right? And that's all you can do, right? That's all you can control is your attitude and your effort. And, those are the things that basically I just portray to people. And I found that, using that on a scale of 1 to 10, that question, I've kind of found that it's a little less invasive and it really allows you to have that person give you just an honest answer. And if they're ready to go, you're ready to go. I mean, a lot of people have said that they're a 10, like, let's do this. I said, awesome, dude, let's get you started. And then you guys know what to do from there. So that's what I would say, but hope you guys got some value from this. This was awesome. Oh, one last thing. AJ said it, never, ever, ever burn bridges. That I can't stress that enough. He said that you sometimes will get mad when you hear the pyramid scheme or any of these objections. I get it. It's annoying sometimes because what this really is and some people just don't. But I can't really stress how big of it takes a lot of emotional intelligence and confidence to not do that. Do not react out of emotion. Like I said earlier, don't take things personally. I'll tell you guys, I burnt a lot of bridges in the beginning of this thing, like 6 years ago, and nothing crazy, but I reacted out of being frustrated or upset or whatever, and I burnt some bridges. It is what it is, but I can tell you guys it wasn't really worth it because there's a lot of relationships that all these people probably would have came around down the road, if I hadn't done that. So when I really think about it, like how insecure must I really have been? How small of a dude must I really have been inside to just get mad about something so trivial, something so small? Right? Again, people want to follow people that know where they're going and that they can look at and have respect for, right? You're not going to follow somebody where, you say one little comment and all of a sudden they're just, letting you have it, right? You want to follow somebody, you're like, damn, like nothing shakes this guy. That's one of the reasons that we follow Joey so closely. Dude, this guy, like the world could be collapsing. You'll never catch this guy saying anything negative ever. Positivity always. It's almost like it's almost ridiculous. I think it's a sickness. Like, it's just like he's so positive all the time. So that's something that I've learned from him, and that's something that I want you guys to just be really mindful of without burning bridges. But hopefully you guys got value from this. I know I did as well. So I appreciate you, AJ, for putting the call together, bro, and having me on. But if you got any closing thoughts, or if Joey has any closing thoughts, I'll turn the call over to you to take it home.
Yeah, man. I mean, the only thing I was gonna say was, I just like to, obviously, people are like, okay, I learned all this knowledge. Now what, right? Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. And so obviously all of that closing stuff, I hope it really helped you guys. But the majority of you on this call, the main focus has to be that edification part that we talked about at the beginning. I mean, all of you should get off this call, go invite like your life depends on it for the calls that we have every single day, right? Go invite like your life depends on it, and use the edification tactics that we talked about to edify your leader. Remember, P1000 or higher, and start ripping these three-way calls, three-way group chats, and pouring people into these calls. And I promise you, the leaders are going to get on the phone with these prospects afterwards, and you're going to start to get to hear them share their story and close these prospects. And you're going to understand and learn how to do everything. Like I said, that was one of the most valuable things that Tyler said was, getting yourself out of the way and allowing the leader to do all the work. Not only is it duplicatable because your prospect is seeing that you're not doing much, but two, you're able to sit there and listen and learn. You're able to learn how to share your story. You're able to learn how to form people. You're able to learn how to edify your team back. You're able to learn how to close people. So just sit there and listen and just do your job, which is putting a lot of numbers, okay? Going through a lot of numbers and invites and group chats. And I promise you, you guys are going to win, okay? You guys are going to win if you can run through those numbers and become an expert at edifying. And if any of you on this call have a team, right? You have people in your organization that have not been connected with a high up leader, you solve that problem this weekend. Get yourself out of the way, make that connection so that your organization's lid is not you, it's the leader all the way up here, and your team has a lot of room to grow. So that's about all I got. I appreciate you guys for staying on so long. Obviously, not everyone stayed on the whole time, but this was recorded. It'll be posted on my YouTube channel, and I appreciate you guys. Let's go crush it this weekend.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.